This is the O2C Media Network. And this, no, excuse me, live from the Tom O'Neill Memorial Studios in the Park Forest Apartment Complex in Jackson, Michigan. This is Steve Sporty Balls. I'm Harry Von Stewart, your announcer. And here's what's his name. And hi there. After last night, I didn't think we had a chance. But tonight, we do got that little chance, that little shot, a little bit of a chutzpah, if you will. And why do we do this, kids? Yeah, why? Why are we doing this? Anyway, yesterday I wasn't really feeling good, and I want to apologize to everyone if I disappointed all of you. Um, I didn't feel good because I had a little situation going on, but I can assure you I no longer have that situation. I'm doing okay. I'm I'm doing well. Just trying to stay, let's just say I'm trying to be stress free. And sometimes things happen. Too much stress makes you just feel like complete shit. And I'm really sorry. I just didn't feel like doing anything. So I'm sorry I disappointed you folks out there. I'm sorry I disappointed me. And I just want to let you all know it will never happen again. If I don't feel good, I'm going to let you know. And the show will be off air for a while. But I feel a whole lot better. And I just want to thank you and just say it, and I mean it. I'm going to start doing this show at 10 o'clock. As always, I'm going to eat after the show. So I won't get tired. I won't get stressed out. I'm not going to let anything get to me anymore. I've had enough of stress. It is killing me. And I just want people to understand that I'm doing my best. I'm having to live under certain things. And this is what life has given me. So right now, I'm on a second chance, and things are going to get better. I hope. So just bear with me. I'm going to go for a checkup once I get everything situated with certain parties. And with that said, enough of me. Let's get to the sports. Let's get to the reason we're all here. And we are on the air. So, hey, my monologue ain't going to be that long. In fact, that was the monologue. I'm Ron. We're on. Yeah, we're on. Let's go to it. The first story for you sports fanatics out there. This is a sports show, but it's more than a sports show. It is an entertainment show. We got entertainment news for you. Some national, some local. Nonetheless, we're doing this. Let's begin, shall we? The Philadelphia 76ers looked like they had game two of the first round series against the New York Knicks wrapped up when they led 101 to 96. With roughly 47 seconds remaining. Now, what followed is one of the most chaotic sequences in recent NBA history. A made three-pointer by Jalen Brunson, a tipped inbound pass leading to a scramble for the ball, Knicks possession, and then a Dante DiVincenzo three-pointer that gave the Knicks a lead. They would not surrender the rest of the way. It was the sort of stretch that was almost too crazy to be possible. Well, according to the NBA's last 2-minute report, it shouldn't have been. Officials made a few mistakes. That statement alone should tell you how the officiating was that night. During the inbound sequence that gave New York the possession it needed to take the lead. With 27.2 seconds remaining, an attempt to call a timeout by Coach Nurse, Phil Nurse, during this play is neither recognized nor granted by the officials. This is something Phil Nurse himself grumbled about after game two. I called timeout, he explained. The referee looked right at me and ignored me. Tyrese Maxey got the ball. I called timeout again. He ignored me again. Then the melee started. With 27 seconds remaining, Brunson, New York Knicks, pulls Maxey, Philadelphia jersey, away from his body, which affects Maxey's abilities to secure the pass. This pull was not called and affects Maxey as he attempts to secure the inbounds passes tipped by Josh Hart. It should have been a foul. With 24.9 seconds remaining, Hart, New York Knicks, steps forward into Maxey, Philadelphia space, and initiates lower body contact that causes Maxey to lose his balance and fall to the floor. This should have been a foul as well, meaning Maxey was fouled twice by the Knicks on the way to their steal, but neither was called. They happen to have a visual video of the footage or of the event. While these were the most critical mistakes made in the final 2 minutes, they weren't the only ones. There were two more misses, one that benefited each team. We won't go into those because of time. While the 76ers will not file an official protest to Monday's results, they will file a complaint to the league over the officiating in games 1 and 2. A team spokesman told John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia. In addition to the missed calls during Game 2, last 2 minutes report data show that Philadelphia was the most disadvantaged team in the NBA this season when it came to officiating late in close games. Daryl Morey, the team president, notably filed a similar complaint during the 2019 postseason when his Houston Rockets were playing the Golden State Warriors. Perhaps such a complaint will make officials more vigilant in the future, but Game 2 is officially in the past. The 76ers trail the series 2-0 and now must win 4 out of 5 to keep their season alive. After 2 tough losses in New York, their goal will have to be winning their next 2 home games, convincingly enough for officiating to become a non-factor. And you thought baseball had a strange problem with officiating. Oh, boy. Anyway, I got to agree. You got to get better officiating. You got to get people to know what they're doing, to know what the rules are. Enough said on that. In college football, something big is happening. Don't know what it is, but it's happening. Arizona State coach Herm Edwards, I should say former Arizona State coach Herm Edwards, received a 5-year show cause penalty from the NCAA for recruiting violations involving more than 30 prospects during the COVID-19 no-visit period, 24/7 Sports reported. The punishment against Edwards, which started on April 15th, is one of the longest show cause penalties handed down to a coach in NCAA history. According to 24/7 Sports, the 69-year-old Edwards was one of seven former ASU staffers, Brennan Gill, Derek Hagan, Chris Hawkins, Zach Hill, and Robert Rodriguez, and equipment uh, employee Eric Bowman being the others, to receive show cause penalties ranging from between 3 to 10 years by the NC2A. Arizona State self imposed a postseason ban for the 2023 season and will vacate 9 of its 10 wins between 21 and 22 for the use of one or more ineligible players. The school also agreed to disassociate for 5 years with Regina Jackson, the mother of former ASU quarterback and LSU Heisman winner Jalen Daniels. Jackson was alleged to have paid for flights and lodging for ASU recruits who impermissibly visited during the COVID dead period. Two of the former staffers are contesting portions of their cases, and the NC2A will not release its full decision until after those hearings. Current Las Vegas Raider coach Antonio Pierce is one of the coaches disputing his charges. He submitted a written statement to the NC2A regarding his role in the violations after he served as an ASU assistant from 2018 to 2021. NCAA Committee on Infractions Chief Hearing Officer Jason Leonard praised Arizona State for its exemplary cooperation in the case. Congratulations and mazel tov. Okay, let's keep going. We're 2 for 2, kids. Let's stay here. And of course, we're talking about the NFL draft coming up, and I can't wait to see how Detroit shines in the national spotlight. And if they shine better than any other city that has hosted the NFL draft, who knows? They might make it. Yes, friends. Who knows? Who knows indeed. Anyway, want to give you another little tidbit of a story, if we can. Just let me search for it. Ah, come on. You're really pissing me off here. There we go. Yeah, we. Hang on, folks. Boom. It's not working. None of this is working tonight. Thank you. Well, I thought we had a little story here. I think maybe we should do it this way. Um, Give me a moment here. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, let's keep on the winning team here, as it were. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we don't do this behind the scenes. We do this. Hey, Dandelion Fluff, how you doing? How's your day been? Okay, let's do it. Okay, more sports, more on the broadcasting side. Ahead of the NFL draft, where they're doing their own Radio Row, Audacity has rolled out an Audacity Sports sub brand. The new brand will cover their 40 owned and operated all sports radio stations and affiliates. There's 160 sports streaming channels on the Audacity app, more than 600 titles and live events on their podcast network, and partnerships with more than 150 pro and college teams. Odyssey Sports will also cover their two national multi platform sports network. That would be Infinity Sports Network, the former CBS Sports Radio, and BetQL Network, both distributed in partnership with Westwood One, which is owned by Cumulus. And it used to be owned by Infinity and CBS. And they're the official audio and podcast partner of Major League Baseball, which lets them stream Major League Baseball play-by-play in English and Espanol, as well as distribute official MLB podcast. We'd give you the Odyssey release, but it's long. And while this is more of a branding change than anything particularly new on the content side right now, this is notable to see from Odyssey. They definitely have a solid portfolio of sports content in a lot of dimensions, and it's significant to see them bringing that together under one sub-brand. And this can help raise awareness for both listeners and advertisers of all the sports content Odyssey has, and perhaps provide opportunities for advertisers in particular to buy slots across a variety of Odyssey sports platforms. It's also interesting to see Odyssey do this around a big event like the NFL Draft, which is in Detroit this year. Incorporating the various sports platforms to cover, that adds to the synergy here and to the focus on how much content Odyssey Sports has. And while sports has always been important for Odyssey, this may signify it being even a larger focus for the overall company. Interesting. Speaking of interesting, Dandelion Fluff, busy but good, long hours at the day job and regular orders for my Etsy shop, so not much free time these days. Well, I'm glad you're here, and because of this, after I do a couple more stories, we're going to get to the hockey scores. Yay! We got hockey playoffs going on, and we're going to report it all. Okay, but right now, for those of you who are basketball nuts, we're just going to do this fast. While the exclusive negotiating period between the NBA and current rights holders, ESPN and TNT, and I'm not going to say TNT Sports, ESPN and Turner Sports, has ended, the incumbents still possess a strong advantage in negotiations. The Wall Street Journal's Joe Flint reports both ESPN and Turner have matching rights if a third party makes a bid for the NBA's media rights. Now, while new NBA deals with current rights holder Disney and Warner Discovery have not been struck as the exclusive negotiating window deadline expires, both have strong matching rights should other parties sweep in, and they can do it too. Alston Karp of the Sports Business Journal expanded on the matching rights Tuesday, saying either company could match a deal for a new streaming package, or one of the linear deals currently held by both companies. The concept of matching rights is always an interesting one, but in this case, it almost seems to be irrelevant. If a company like Amazon or NBC comes in for a streaming exclusive package, it'll likely be as the NBA's third media partner. That probably means that ESPN and Turner are already backing up the Brinks truck to retain their existing packages, and there isn't much of a need to throw another 9 or 10 figures their way. But if another company like NBC comes in for one of the existing NBA linear packages held by either ESPN or Turner, it would have to drop an eye-watering bid, as in 3 Brinks trucks and a boat. ESPN and Turner are currently paying a combined $2.4 billion annually for the NBA's rights, and the league, like all sports properties, is hunting a significant increase in its next media rights deal. If NBC or another company makes a ludicrous offer of, say, $3 billion for just one of those packages, would either company really be willing to match it, especially as cost-cutting has increased across every bit of the media landscape? More than all else, This takeaway from the revelation that both companies have matching rights is that unless another linear network comes up with some major scratch, like maybe 3, 4, 10 billion, uh, both ESPN and Turner will remain in the NBA fold. Okay, we done that. That's very nice. Why is this thing sticking? There we go. Okay, let's. Miss Dandelion Fluff is from Canada, so we must adhere to a promise made for all of Canada that we give you the best dang hockey report. Excuse me, we can bring you. Wow, that was a belch. So let's do it. And so we shall. Let's take it to ice hockey. It's a game played on ice and with a stick. Let's go now for the games that are in progression right now. At the intermission, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning tied at 2. In the first period, the Winnipeg Jets lead the Colorado Avalanche 1-0. And just starting, the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators, they are at 0-0. In the OHL playoffs, Saginaw Spirit beat the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds 3-1. And in the AHL playoff, in the third period, it is Texas Stars 5, Manitoba Moose 3. There you go. Do we have some ice hockey news? Do we have any type of news? Yes, we do. I think so. Yeah, I know so. I know we got news from that lovely little blurb of hockey that we truly love. And by the way, we will do an accounting as to Rogers Hockey Night as to the Canadian media rights for NHL hockey. We will let you know just how many Canadian teams remain in the hunt for His Lordship's Silver Chalice. In fact, we've given you the scores. Let's give you who's leading what, where, and why. Oh, there's playoffs. Okay, you want playoffs? Well, let's bop the playoff thing. Thank you. Okay, let's give you the roundup of how things are going in the Stanley Cup playoffs round 1. Vegas Golden Knights, the defending Stanley Cup champions, lead Dallas 1-0. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Winnipeg leads Colorado 1-0. Vancouver leads Nashville 1-0. Edmonton leads LA 1-0. On the other side, Florida leads Tampa Bay 1-0. And Boston and Toronto are tied at 1 game apiece. There you go. And you're wondering why the finger is like this. It's simple. So that means right now, for our friends in Canada, Rogers has still 4 teams in the first round of the SCP. We will continue to monitor things, and let's monitor them all. New York Rangers lead Washington 2-0 in games, and Carolina leads New York 2-0 in their game. Now that that's all said and done, and it is all said and done, we got more sports for you. We look at the minor leagues, we look at the major leagues of baseball, as well as hockey and in general, other sports. We do not leave you hanging, folks. Let us put it that way. In fact, we're not going to leave you hanging much tonight because we are 5 minutes away from the halftime here. Let's give you the rest of the day in sports. I am feeling better, by the way. I'm feeling better. Yesterday was a disaster that, well, I had a little little situation with my head, but I just want to let you know, guys, I'm doing okay. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm going to eat after our broadcast here. Let's take you around the sports world. And let's go, first of all, to the NBA, their playoff games. Game two of the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. We're in early still in the fourth quarter. Pacers lead the Bucks 92-87. And in game two of the Western Conference first round, Timberwolves beat the Suns 105-93. Uh-oh. And that means that the Timberwolves are 2 up on the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns have got to start playing. First quarter, about 8 minutes, 34 seconds. In game two of the Western Conference first round, Mavericks and Clippers are tied at 5. Let's go around Major League Baseball. We got 6 games still going on. Let's give you the report on those. Los Angeles Dodgers lead the Washington Nationals 4-1. In fact, we're calling that a final score. It's the end of the 9th inning. Dodgers beat the Nationals 4-1. In the bottom of the 9th inning, the Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins are tied at 5. Wow. So we'll just see how that goes. I have a feeling it might be going, if luck happens, we might see extras on that. Top of the 9th, Seattle Mariners over the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers 4-0. Bottom of the 5th, 2 on, 2 out. San Diego Padres losing to the Colorado Rockies 6-4. End of the 3rd, it is Angels 5. The California Angels 5. Baltimore Orioles nothing. Bottom of the 4th inning, San Francisco Giants, New York Mets, they're tied at goose eggs. Let's go for some final scores. Cleveland Guardians over the Boston Red Sox 4-1. Cincinnati Reds over the Philadelphia Phillies 8-1. Army Hearties, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they defeated the Milwaukee Brewers 2-1. Arr. Detroit Tigers beat the Tampa Bay Rays 4-2. New York Yankees took out the Gypsy Athletics 4-3. Atlanta Braves over the Miami Marlins, hapless again, 5-0. The Chicago Cubs over the Houston Astros 7-2. KC Royals over the Toronto Blue Jays 3-2. And how's this? They were playing Canadian football in Arizona. I hope, Dandelion, you caught that. Yep, they were playing Canadian football. They weren't playing baseball. They were playing Canadian football in Arizona tonight. The Diamondbacks beat the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, they allowed them to score a rouge, which is 1 point. Final score, the Arizona Diamondbacks 14, St. Louis Cardinals 1. Okay, some updates. We got your update. Yeah, I got your updates right here. End of regulation in game 2 of the Eastern Conference first round. Lightning and Panthers are tied. They're going into overtime at 2-2. End of one period, the Winnipeg Jets lead the Avalanche 1-0. Early on in game game 2 of the Western Conference first round. Early first, 13-15. Predators of Nashville lead the Vancouver Canucks 1-0. And in game 2 of the Eastern Conference first round, the New York Rangers beat the Washington Capitals 4-3. In soccer, in the Premier League, Arsenal beat Chelsea 5-0 at the Coppa Italia. It's Lazio beating Juventus 2-1 at the Coppa Italia. We got other scores for you coming up and more news, including the entertainment stuff. I only follow hockey, soccer, and lacrosse. Hey, they get the lacrosse, if they get professional lacrosse, which there is, up and going again, we will report those scores. We report all types of scores. Me, I'm 0-1 on love. Anyway, that's right. Thank you for laughing at that joke. Let's see. What else is happening here? Where it counts, I know not where. Motorola. Okay, we're going to. What are we going to? Oh yeah, we've already done the minor league hockey. Um, let's see if there was some some little soccer. Let's get you a little soccer here, a little soccer, if you prefer. Here we go. Okay, we got football. Good. Okay, we're good. We're good where we're at. We're good where we're at. Thank you. Okay. Arsenal beat Chelsea 5-0. I've already given the Copa one. Let's okay, let's try to get something where we can read and okay. In das Bundesliga, Wolfsberger beat Austria Lustenau 2-1. The Tiroli beat Austria Wien 1-0. In the Copa Libertadores, Colo Colo defeated Alianza Lima 0-0. That's in Group A. In Group C, wow, you guys are really on the move here. That was Group A. Group C, Estudiantes de La Plata lost to Gremio 1-0. In Group D, Atletico Junior defeated LDU de Quito 1-0. Group F, Liverpool defeated San Lorenzo de Almagro. In Group G, oh, by the way, the score was 1-0. Group G, Caracas defeated Rosario Central. Actually, they wound up tied 1-1. Thank you guys for updating. Atletico defeated Club Atletico Penarol by score 3-2. Let's see what else has happened. Let's see, we got other jubilance of jubilance. Okay, in the Asian Cup, Kuwait beat Malaysia 2-1. Uzbekistan beat Vietnam 3-0. Don't you wish professional football was like that? I mean it. I mean, take a look at the Premier League, okay? They got a rule. You got 16 teams. First four get to go to the UEFA Champions League. The fifth one goes to the Europa League. And then you have three of your bottom dwellers. They get reassigned to a lesser league. Okay? Say, like, if the NFL decided to, hey, you know, the Arena Football League is coming back. Why don't we help them? And they become a part of the National Football League. And they follow the same rules as the Premier League in soccer. You have 30 teams, no, 30 or 32 teams. You have 32 teams in the NFL. They got a league. So if it's the UFL, so if the NFL and the UFL come up with a deal, here's what would happen: your three worst teams fall from the NFL and go to the UFL. The three worst teams not so worst. Let's say the three of the UFL teams that are doing okay. They didn't get into the playoffs. They get leveled up to the NFL. That would be interesting. You know what would also be interesting? If they adopted the Canadian Football League rules. You know, and get rid of the archaic overtime period. Do what they do in college football. Both teams get a chance to score. Okay? If one team scores a touchdown, the other team has to score a touchdown. One team scores a field goal, the other team has to score a field goal. So there you go. Keep the play going. There. Simple. In the Canadian Championship Soccer, it was Calgary over Vancouver, 1-0. And somewhere around here, we do have some very American Cup action. I'm wearing an American Cup, actually. Okay. In the women's Common Ball Championship, under 20, Brazil beat Argentina 2-0. Paraguay defeated Venezuela 2-0. Colombia and Peru, their game comes La Torre. That stands for later. We'll keep that up. Let's see if there's any hoops action that we can do a little shrig on. I mean, we've already done the NFL, the NBA, and other little fun fiestas. There's got to be an NBL or something like that. When does the WNBA start, anyways? We'll find that out later. Hey, it's 37 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock in the evening. I almost said morning. Let's see. Let's go for some more words of wisdom from Awful Announcing. Let's see here what we got. Do we have anything here? Do we have anything there? I don't know why. Why am I talking like this? Trying to entertain myself. But please, guys, people, hit that like button, smash that like button, tell your friends about the weirdest sportscast you've ever seen where the host falls asleep sometimes. Okay, here we go. CBS Sports reported on Tuesday that former college football coach Derek Dooley has led the charge on a new proposal that would be a group of 5 playoff. Dennis Dodd reported that Dooley, most notably the former head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, has pitched a proposal for a G5 playoff backed by private equity. The group of 5 splits 9% of the annual $1.3 billion deal with ESPN, while the payout marks an increase in raw numbers. It is a percentage decrease considering the group of 5 received 22% of the pot in the prior deal, writes Dodd. The ongoing strife between conferences and a radical shift over the past few years seems to be developing more every day. The Big Ten and the SEC have made it clear that they're spearheading that change and that they're at the forefront of it all. The ACC is dealing with a myriad of issues, and other conferences might soon feel the weight of competitive disadvantage that will almost assuredly be built in over the next few years. Now, it's not a radically awful idea to consider a group of 5 playoff. The fact is that many G5 teams have almost zero say in the CFP room. We've gone through this song and dance since 2014, and only rarely has it resulted in the little guy winning something, and even then, you'll run into issues that made the playoff needs come into question, but that's another story for another freaking time. At the same time, much like the Fox Sports College Basketball Crown Tournament or other ideas that feel too runner-up secondary feel, would also arrive with this proposal. The group of five deals with perception issues as it is. While it might not be intentional, this idea might extend those issues as well. Anyway, so there you go, folks. Some of the daily bots. Are we having stuck issues here? No, we're not. Good. Anyway, we're glad you're here. Glad everyone is here. Let's see here what we got here. Let's see. Okay. We all know Pat McAfee is now the golden child of ESPN after being plucked from obscurity, otherwise known as the DraftKings Network. But Dan Le Batard had a few words to say about all this and more. Last Wednesday could have been a chaotic day for ESPN. Hours after Don Van Natta Jr., Seth Wickersham, and Jeremy Fowler published a report detailing Bill Belichick's failed pursuit of another head coaching job after parting ways with the New England Patriots, Pat McAfee announced that six-time Super Bowl champion head coach would make his media debut as part of his show's annual NFL Draft Spectacular. We're going to be viewing that. We have our own NFL Spectacular coming up, but we're not calling it an NFL Draft Spectacular. We're just going to call it Steve's Sporty Balls-a-Palooza, as we will bring you a special edition of Steve's Sporty Balls, which we're calling Steve's NFL Draft Balls. That's right. Our balls are going to shine, but we're not going to be in Detroit. We're going to be here in our luxury suite overlooking a bunch of other buildings. I like that. That's what we call privacy. Anyway, McAfee's ensuing interview with Belichick didn't contain any references to or let alone questions about the report, which included allegations that Patriots owner Robert Kraft warned the Atlanta Falcons not to hire him. Now, a year ago, this would have been a big deal. How could ESPN publish a high-profile report? Hopefully a warm day if you have draft. Love you, Dandelion Fluff. Love you. Like we said, Amir, how could it publish a high-profile report about one of the NFL's most famous figures and not ask him a single question about it as he appeared on the network mere hours later? But as noted by former ESPN personality Dan Le Batard, this is the reality of ESPN in 2024, which has seemingly prioritized McAfee's success over its previous principles. Who knew ESPN, first of all, had principles? Quoting the bod of Le Batard, I believe that this is a change going forward that you're going to have to get used to in exchange for the access. Someone asking questions who doesn't feel beholden to ask what it is you think should be asked on behalf of the audience or journalist or anything else. Le Batard said on Monday's episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. Quote, I don't suppose that anyone will care that Bill Belichick was not asked about the report from Seth Wickersham, Don Van Natta, and Jeremy Fowler about Arthur Blank taking calls from Bob Kraft saying, don't trust Belichick. But I would have liked to have heard Belichick's response to that. After our co-host John Stugotz, Wiener, Homer, asked if that's something that bothers the journalistically minded Le Batard. The Meadowlark Media co-founder noted that what ultimately matters is how the audience feels about it, with all the indications being that it doesn't care. He proceeded to wax poetic about what he believes that says about the state of ESPN and the network's relationship with McAfee and the media at large. And While there hasn't been many or any battles at ESPN, the McAfee hasn't won. He publicly called out now former executives, rubbed his relationship with Aaron Rodgers in the face of his critics, and provided a platform for the Jets quarterback to call out one of Disney's highest profiled employers. Through it all, McAfee's influence at the worldwide leader has only seemingly grown, as evidenced by his draft spectacular being the home of Belichick's highly anticipated media debut. Well, we'll just see how long that relationship lasts between Mr. McAfee and ESPN. They've already had one run around, and McAfee won that. Wouldn't it be interesting to see Pat McAfee be a guest comment doing his show, and not just College Game Day, but also be a commentator on ESPN Sports Center? That would be hilarious. So much for sports on ESPN. But that brings up one other little situation, one other thing I want to talk about. Why does Fox Sports, their cable outlets in general, Fox Sports 1 and 2, why don't they capitalize on the fact that ESPN has now a lack of sports centers? Hmm? Excuse me. I wasn't picking my nose. I was wiping I got a little sputa. Sputa is my language for I got a little thing on my schnoz. If you'll excuse me. Okay, I think I got it. If not, I'll just shave it off. All right, I got it. Thank you. Wasn't a pick, but it was a rub. Okay, we're at 10:47. How great is it to be at 10:47? Right now 10:48, which means we got some entertainment news for you. Yeah, we're going to get you some entertainment news. Wonderful, isn't it? Yes. Let's do it. Let's do it to it, Pruitt. We thank you very much. Let's get you some entertainment news while we're on the subject of non-subjectiveness. Thank you, boys. Thank you. By the way, I just want to show you something. You see this? This is the Cup of Noodles Everything Bagel. Many new things from the folks at Cup of Noodles. This is good stuff. This is Everything Bagel with cream cheese. Try it. You'll love it. My name isn't what my name is. Okay, let's itchy. Okay, let's give you some ringside news. It is all over, but the shouting, and that's from her fans on OnlyFans. Reports have surfaced indicating that a notable absence from the AEW roster, Paige Van Zant, has departed from the company despite still being listed on their official roster page. Van Zant's tenure at AEW has been marked by speculation due to her lack of in-ring activity since her sole match at Double or Nothing 2022. Despite her prolonged absence from the company, Van Zant's name remains on the AEW roster page, prompting questions about her current status within the company. During the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer, who, let's face it, believe with a small grain of salt, addressed the listener's inquiry regarding Van Zant's situation, confirming her departure from AEW despite the absence of the official announcement. Meltzer clarified staying no, even though she's on the roster, she's not with AEW anymore. He elaborated that Van Zant made the decision to step away from wrestling, asserting, quote, she decided she didn't want to be a wrestler. If she wanted to be a wrestler, she'd still be there, end quote. Van Zant, a former UFC fighter, last competed in MMA in July 2020, boasting a record of 8 wins and 5 losses. Despite her brief stint in AEW, it appears that her future endeavors will not involve professional wrestling. Paige Van Zant is now part of the Few, the Proud, the Mega Stars who earn the Mega Bucks on OnlyFans. She recently did an exclusive OnlyFans little shindig with one of her, I want to say one of her boxing friends, but I don't think it was. I think it was a friend of her wrestling career. Okay, so here we go. Jeopardy Masters fans, you're not ready for this season 2 news. The hit spinoff series will be airing on ABC with Ken Jennings as host starting on May 1st. However, mark your calendars, Jeopardy fans, because one of the quiz show's exciting spinoff series is coming back sooner than we thought. Just 2 months after Variety announced that Jeopardy Masters will be back for season number 2, viewers got word of when the upcoming installment will air on TV screens, and a shocking, if not surprising, announcement coming from ABC's Facebook page official. Fans learned that the first episode of season 2 will premiere with Ken Jennings as host Wednesday, May 1st on the Alphabet Network. Beginning May 1st, it's going to be a matchup for the ages, read the official caption. On April 10th, Jeopardy Masters returns with the 6 highest-ranked current contestants in a primetime event on ABC and streamed on Hulu. While fans learned that the popular spin-off series would be back for another season, they voiced their excitement in the comments. Yay! Needless to say, it looks like it's going to be a good one. Jeopardy announced that Matt Emodil, Mateo Roche, Yogesh Raut, Victoria Gruss, and Amy Schneider are slated to participate in the tournament, as well as James Holzhauer will be back, along with a slew of others, as he tries to hold on to the championship title. So there you go. There's another little bit of entertainment news. Irving Nussbaum news. Jeff Hardy has been reportedly advised to step back from pro wrestling. Let's get over to the next one here. Chris Jericho doesn't seem bothered by the negative fan reaction toward him at AEW Dynasty. At Dynasty, Chris Jericho faced off against Hook for the FTW Championship. The two men had teased an alliance in recent weeks, with Jericho claiming to have advice to offer Hook. The young star admitted he has plenty to learn from Jericho, but remained cautious when it came to trusting the former world champion. The bout between the two men at Dynasty was contested under FTW rules, and plenty of weapons were in play. The crowd in St. Louis made it clear they were firmly on the side of Hook, chanting, "Please retire and go home, Jericho," throughout the match. In the end, Jericho begged Hook to stay down, but the young star refused. Jericho hit Hook in the head with his bat and pinned him, becoming the new FTW champion, to loud boos from the crowd. Taz left the commentary booth to check on his son following the match, being replaced by Nigel McGuinness. So there you go. So Wednesday night, we'll find out more of what happened. Wow, ain't that nice? Let's see. What else? Have a good night. I'm off to get ready for sleeping. Have a good night. Have great dreams. And be well. Okay. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher will not return for the second season of that 90s show. Oh. Too bad. Okay, what else have we got here? We got about 5 minutes, so let's give you some other little dots. There's a fruity new Mountain Dew flavor, and it's selling like hotcakes. Mountain Dew has fans clamoring over its new limited edition flavor. The latest offering, Purple Thunder Zero, is a zero sugar iteration of the original product, and from the looks of it, customers have been waiting for its release. On Sunday, April 21st, food blogger Marky Devo shared a glimpse of the new drop via Instagram, teasing, "Oh boy, do we love store exclusives," in the caption. Purple Thunder consists of classic dew with a blast of berry plum. Very nice. It's going to be in regular, in zero, in bottle, and can at Circle K and Kroger owned stores. Of course, a side note, Kroger and Albertsons, to appease federal regulators, are going to be selling some of their stores to comply with federal regulations for the merger. Uh, okay. We got about 4 minutes. 4 minutes to paradise is like 3 minutes to a waiting pig. No, I'm just kidding. Don't even know what I'm saying. Meh. But we got about 3 minutes. Do we have a 3 minute karaoke song we can do, guys? Do we have a 3 minute karaoke song here? Or do we just talk for 2 more minutes and just get on here? Okay, well, let's do it. Let's do a little bit. Something good. Okay. Okay, here we go. Another Sinatra song. I'm going to start doing other songs. And I'm just going to blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, that song right there. Okay, thank you. Okay, are we in vogue? Here we go. A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance and maybe they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widow bride, but something touched me deep inside the day the music died. So bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." Did you write the book of love? And do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Now do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage bronco buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck. But I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. I started singing, "Bye, bye, Miss American Pie." Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." Now for 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone. But that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, and a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned. No verdict was returned. Ooh, and while Lenin read a book on Marx, the quartet practiced in the park, and we sang dirges in the dark the day the music died. We were singing "Bye Bye Miss American Pie." Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." Helter skelter in a summer swelter, the bluebirds flew off with a fallout shelter, 8 miles high and falling fast. It landed foul on the grass. The players tried for a forward pass with the jester on the sidelines in a cast. Now the halftime air was sweet perfume, while the sergeants played a marching tune. We all got up to dance. Oh, but we never got the chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. Do you recall what was revealed the day the music died? We started singing "Bye Bye Miss American Pie." Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." Oh, and we were all in one place, a generation lost in space with no time left to start again. So come on, Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. Jack Flash sat on a candlestick, 'cause fire is the devil's only friend. Oh, and as I was watched him on the stage, my hands were clenched in fits of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan spell. Ooh, and as the flames climbed high into the night to light the sacrificial rite, I saw Satan laughing with delight the day the music died. He was singing "Bye Bye Miss American Pie." Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away. I went down to the sacred store where I heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. And in the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried, and the poets dreamed, but not a word was spoken. The church bells all were broken. And the three men I admired most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they caught the last train for the coast the day the music died. They were singing, bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die." They were singing, bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die." Boy, that was a little long. So we got to just say so long. We'll see you tomorrow night. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network. Have a good night. Have a good life. I'll see you tomorrow. 10 p.m. Eastern. Bye.